there he is. Yep. Alright. Oh, that's another keeper. That's a good one there. Morning, everybody. We're at Smithville Lake this morning. It's a beautiful morning out here. But I wanted to take a few minutes to kind of show you how I go about finding a submerged brush pile and vertical jigging it for crappie. I'm going to go over, I'll show you how I use my big unit on my console and use my structure scan to find trees. And then I'm also going to come up to the front of the boat and show you my trolling motor fish finder and how I fine-tune getting back over top of that tree so I know where to vertical fish for crappie. If you've never vertical fished for crappie before, I hope this helps and gives you some ideas on how to do it. It's just the way I do it. It's probably my favorite way to fish for crappie, but I hope it allows you to catch some more fish. So all I'm using this morning, I'm just using a little minnow looking jig, a little 1/16 ounce jig head on it. I normally use orange jig heads, but today I'm just using white. I don't know why. Seems to be working, so I figure why change it. And then I just got a little loop knot tied into it, and what that loop knot does is when I vertically jig, which I'm doing this morning, it allows that jig to just kind of set nice and straight like that. And then this tail back here is just crazy amount of action back here in this tail. And those fish just have a hard time sitting there looking at it, and they just go ahead and eat it. But that's pretty much the technique I'm using today, just vertical fishing, getting over some treetops, finding them on my fish finder, and if I see fish on it, I just kind of stop and fish it for a couple minutes and see if anything's in there. Oh, there's one. Oh, that's a good one. Alrighty, there we go. So here's some trees that I've already found. In fact, they were already in the Navionics chip card, my mapping chip card, and we're gonna drive right next to those. Now I'm gonna be over to the left-hand side of them because to see them in my side imaging, I don't want to go right over top of them. I can. If I do, they're going to be in this black area. This black area right here is sort of my water column area, and this is all the bottom of the lake right here, looking out to my left. So the trees should show up here on the right, and already you can kind of see a little blob right there entering into the screen. And here's some shadows that you want to look at, and there's the tree right there that I'm going right next to. There's another tree right here that you can really see nice. It's showing up a little bit better actually, and there's another tree right there. So I've got a creek channel running right there. It's almost right on a point, and there's a tree laying right over that. And you can see on my down image, you just saw that if you watched that just a minute ago, you saw me nick the edge of that tree right there to see what it looks like. So that's what I'm looking for when I'm trying to find some trees. And then I'll just zoom in and mark them with my GPS, which will go to my front fish finder up at the front of the boat. And in fact, on my fish finder in the front, as you'll see, I've actually got my down scan right here that is at the back of my boat. I actually have that showing up on the front fish finder as well. So I use this one, both the front and the back. And I do that to help find, you'll see here in a minute when I go over it with the trolling motor, how I try to use that down scan here along with my 2D under the trolling motor, which this one is in the back of the boat, but how I use those together in order to fine tune where I'm going to fish. Alrighty, so once I find my trees on my big unit on my console, I mark them with my GPS, and you can see right over there, sorry about the big finger, you can see where my spots are that I've marked off my big console area, my other fish finder. So then I fine tune it with my trolling motor, and you can see right up here in the front, right up here, this is actually my trolling motor transducer on the bottom. My big motor transducer is up here on the top with the down imaging. So right here, I'm coming right over top this tree right here. And now you can see it start entering the back of the boat. And actually you can see fish right over there at the very back as it comes in. So there's fish, there's about, probably about 10 fish on the back of that right there. And I just went over the tree with my trolling motor, and now the back of my boat is coming over the tree, so I get a better detailed picture of what the tree looks like. And here's what it looks like when I put my spot lock on and just set back over that tree. Now you'll notice that all it is a big blob on the 2D sonar, the one on the bottom, the trolling motor transducer. And that's because I'm not moving the boat. The boat's literally just sitting on top of that tree. So all you get are just the most recent lines in the history of it, which is just all the tree branches that are in there. That's what it'll look like when you're sitting back over top of that tree. So all the brown down on the bottom of the fish finder, that's the bottom of the lake, and all the reds and the greens and oranges is the actual tree that I'm fishing. And right there's actually a fish that just came out of that tree. See that little line that comes out? A fish just swam out of that tree. So that's what it'll look like when you see fish on there. And up here on the 2D, you'll see there's a fish that just swam. He's kind of toward the bottom. He just swam through the back of the back transducer for just a brief second. There's a couple more fish coming out of that tree too. So you can see there's crappie active in there and swimming around. So once I see that, that's when I start doing my... Oh, there's one. Oh, that's a good one too. Oh, that's a really good one there. There we go. Alrighty. Not a bad one. Another black crappie. There you go, folks. That is how I go about vertical jigging. So hopefully today I kind of showed you how I use my fish finders to go about finding the trees that I'm locating. Then once I locate those on my console unit, my console fish finder, I fine tune it with my front end fish finder to where I'm sitting right over top of those trees, and I can see those fish coming in and out of those trees and just vertically jigging down in there. And hopefully it gives you a thought. Anyway, it's how I vertical fish. I hope that helps you out. But I'm going to go find some more fishing spots. So we did all this on one tree today, one little section, like 2 or 3 trees right in there, and just kind of showed you how I go about doing that, and I hope that helps you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Alright, bud, you're gonna go back in.